Hi, this is Kevin Thomas, and welcome to the At Home Film Festival. Last week I went to Boise for the first time, and I was a little nervous about it because less than 3% of the population is gay and Black. So here I went with my Black friend, the gay man, but they were such lovely people there. We had such a great time. And we were there because we were invited by my dear friend Carol's brother, who thinks of me as a brother. So I am so happy to have seen you and your family, Nate. Oh, it was such a great time. Everybody was wonderful. But one thing we bonded over while we were there is me, Carol, and Nate all love planes, trains, and automobiles. This happens to be on TV this month, so you could catch it. It usually also plays around the holidays because it takes place around the holidays. But it did make me think for this week's episode, why don't we deconstruct the movie and show films about planes, trains, and automobiles? So let's go now. I've got 7 for you, one for each day of the week. Our first movie will be about planes. Oh, there's so many great plane movies. There's action planes, there's assassins on a plane, there's airplane, there's snakes on a plane. There's so many wonderful things you could do with planes. So I tried to not do the popular ones. So our first movie is The Mountain Between Us, which you could find on many streaming channels for a few dollars. I picked this not only because it was a little different than the other plane movies, but the adventure for them starts in Idaho. So I'm tying it in with my visit. So here we have the wonderful Idris Elba and my favorite Kate Winslet, who were in a hurry to get out of Idaho, not because the people weren't friendly, because they super were when we were there, but they got things to do. So they rent a small plane and it crashes. Oh no. And they need to survive, so they have to rely on each other and the elements and luck to get out of there. Oh, what a terrific, terrific film. You will enjoy it. A View from the Top, which you could find on Bluto, to me is one of the most maligned movies that ever was made. It sat on the shelf at the studio for too long. It got poor reviews from critics. The audience really didn't embrace it, and it's really a great movie. I know a lot of people aren't friends of Gwyneth Paltrow, maybe that's it, but she's darling in this film, and her supporting cast, oh my God. We have Candice Bergen, Mike Myers, the always wonderful Christina Applegate, oh, Kelly Preston, Mark Ruffalo, what a cast. So this movie's very fun too. It's got Gwyneth, who thinks she should be the world's greatest flight attendant, but she fails the test, so she can't be the VIP flight attendant. She's got to work on one of the crappy airlines. But secrets do come out, and we might find some truth to what happened to her, because she seems to be the model child to be the perfect flight attendant. God, this is so fun. Watch it with me, shall you? Was that Rob Lowe in a quick cameo? Movies about trains are next. And, oh, I had so many other great choices too. I really wanted to do Bullet Train because I love it, but it's super popular. So let's stick to less known films or older films that might be forgotten, like Runaway Train. This movie, which you could find on the Roku channel, has Jon Voight in an Oscar-nominated performance where he gets out of jail and he tries to plot to take over a train because of some financial gain for him. He brings along with him Eric Roberts, also an Oscar nominee, and they are of great chemistry as two sort of bad guys, but Jon is super evil in this movie, and Eric is sort of like a poor schmuck that goes along with him, but oh, my favorite thing about this, we always knew that Jon Voight's a great actor. He has an Oscar after all, and he now has like a couple other nominations. But Eric Roberts is kind of forgotten as a really good actor because he's made some more schlocky things in the last couple of years. But he is a very, very, very good actor, and he deserved his nomination for this. I also think he deserved one for the movie Star 80. So catch this train film before it runs away. That's so stupid and corny, but that's who I am. My train movies also shouldn't both be runaway trains, but I kind of did that. Silver Streak, which is a few dollars to rent, is sort of a comedic version of a runaway train and more homage to the 1950s movies about trains. I almost did like Strangers on a Train, but that's a classic. And I was this close to doing the original Murder on the Orient Express, which neither one of those are runaway trains. But I'm only doing 7 movies, and I found 3 automobile movies I had to do. So I'm only doing 2 train movies. I already did 1. Now we have Silver Streak, which is a similar plot where there's a crime going on. Gene Wilder's the only one that sees things no one believes. What he's saying, they frame him for everything. Along for the ride is Jill Clayburgh. Is she a good person or is she a bad person? Oh my God, that sounds like Glinda the Good Witch. Oh, you a good... Well, anyway, I can't do Glinda either. I can talk about movies, and this is super fun, a lot of action. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I bet you will too. Now let's go to automobiles and Death Proof, which you can find on the Roku channel, and it's actually on regular TV this week. This was actually first part of a built-in double feature called Grindhouse. It's screened with this and another movie, but it failed as one big long film. So they cut it in half. They did both of the movies separately, and it found its own cult following, with Kurt Russell, who almost made the list in the Airplane movie with executive decision. He plays an evil guy that picks up young, hot women, and he, for just the heck of it, he kills them. Now, I'm not giving away a lot because that happens early on, but then he runs into some hot young women, his perfect prey, but they are not taking his crap. They fight back. It becomes a cat and mouse chase. It's really, really good. Oh, I had to pick between all those great chase movies. I had Joyride on the list first. I also had Duel, but because of the different angle of this with the women fighting back and not letting Kirk get away with anything, I picked Death Proof. And if you saw in the little quick credits there, it's from Quentin Tarantino, and he is, if anything else, a really good writer. Ooh, there's his matches. Let's see what happens when they all get together, shall we? Okay. The Big Bus, which is also a box office flop, was way ahead of its time. It spoofed airline movies, even though it's a bus, which is a vehicle, way before even Airplane came out. 1976. The filmmakers said, you know what, there's so many of those disaster movies, let's make fun of them and let's do it on a bus. It's got a great cast starring Stockard Channing. It costs you a few dollars to rent. It's not as funny as Airplane, so I'll give it that, but it is groundbreaking more for being a very funny spoof about airplane movies, and this time it's done on a bus. Really, really thoroughly enjoy this film. Oh, God. It was so good. Unidentified Objects, which I found at a gay film festival a few years ago, is one of the best road movies you'll ever find. And you could find it on Paramount Plus or rent it for a few dollars. It's about a gay young dwarf who has a car. Some girl asked, oh, couldn't we just go on a trip? I need to get someplace. And he doesn't want to just lend her his car, so he goes along. He learns a lot about life and love and dealing with his dwarfism and dealing with people that use you. This movie also features Matthew August Jeffers, someone I had never heard of. He's a great and wonderful actor. I will follow his career, and I really urge you, this is the best movie on this whole list. It is a wonderful road film, excellent in every aspect. You must catch this film. Well, that's our show of the week. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you share and subscribe. As we leave, I'm taking a look at scenes from other airport airline movies that I didn't feature. But the list of those goes on, and you could do a whole show just on these. Maybe I will one day. Otherwise, you enjoy the movies, and I will see you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Oh, that doesn't look fun at all.